Monday morning, 7:38 a.m. For most people in southern Philippines, it was just another ordinary day beginning. Children walking to school, fishermen heading to the sea, markets opening in General Santos City. Then, 60 kilometers beneath the ocean floor, something that had been building for decades finally let go. Magnitude 7.8, one of the most powerful earthquakes to strike Southeast Asia in recent years. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happened, the science behind the destruction, why this specific spot on Earth is one of the most dangerous in the world, and why the threat didn't stop when the shaking did. The Philippines sit at the collision point of three of Earth's major tectonic plates. It's a place the planet has never let rest easy. And on this particular Monday morning, the Philippine sea plate, which has been grinding and sliding beneath the island of Mindanao for millions of years, suddenly lurched. The United States Geological Survey, the USGS, detected the event almost instantly. Their network of seismometers across the globe pinged simultaneously. The reading was unambiguous, 7.8. To put that number in perspective, a magnitude 7 earthquake releases roughly 32 times more energy than a magnitude 6. A 7.8 releases energy comparable to hundreds of nuclear weapons detonating simultaneously. Underground, beneath the sea. The epicenter was located offshore, in the waters south of Mindanao. Depth, approximately 60 kilometers. That depth matters, and we'll explain exactly why in a moment. The shaking reached the surface within seconds. Buildings swayed, roads cracked. In Sargan, a region encompassing 4 provinces and General Santos City, walls collapsed, structures buckled, and people ran into the streets. Within minutes, Rodrigo Sosmeña, the local director of civil defense, was already receiving reports. 12 victims in Sargan alone, dozens more injured across the region. But the earthquake itself was only the beginning. To understand why Mindanao shook so violently, you have to understand where it sits. The Philippines occupy one of the most geologically active zones on the entire planet, the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 40,000-kilometer horseshoe of tectonic boundaries that circles the Pacific Ocean and accounts for roughly 90% of all earthquakes on Earth. Here's the mechanism. The Philippine Sea Plate, an oceanic plate, is being forced beneath the Eurasian Plate. This process is called subduction, and it doesn't happen smoothly. The plates lock together. Stress builds over decades, over centuries, and then, at some point, they snap. That snap releases elastic energy stored in the rocks. Energy that travels outward in all directions as seismic waves. There are multiple types. P waves, which compress and expand rock in the direction of travel, and S waves, which shake the ground sideways. It's the S waves, the secondary waves, that cause most of the structural damage you see in earthquake footage. Now, the depth of this earthquake, 60 kilometers, is classified as what seismologists call intermediate depth. Shallow quakes, those under 20 kilometers, often cause more surface destruction per unit of energy. But intermediate depth quakes distribute their energy across a much wider area, meaning more communities feel significant shaking, even if they're far from the epicenter. Which is exactly what happened across Mindanao.
Following the main event, the Earth wasn't finished. Within hours, seismologists recorded dozens of aftershocks ranging from minor 1.3 magnitude tremors to a significant 6.7, nearly enough to be a major earthquake on its own. Aftershocks occur because when the main fault ruptures, surrounding sections of crust are now under new stress distributions. They adjust, they slip, some do so violently. 6.7 aftershock is strong enough to collapse already weakened buildings, and that's a particular danger in disaster zones where rescue workers and survivors are still inside the structures. Seismologists estimate that aftershock sequences from major earthquakes can continue for weeks, months, and sometimes years. But there was another threat, one that didn't announce itself with shaking, one that moved invisibly at the speed of a commercial jet across open water. Within minutes of the earthquake, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center had issued an alert. The offshore location of the rupture, combined with its magnitude, had created the conditions for a tsunami. The warning was stark. Waves of up to 3 meters were possible along the Philippine coastline. In Indonesia and Malaysia, up to 1 meter, and smaller waves, still dangerous, were projected to reach as far as Taiwan, Japan, Guam, and Papua New Guinea. Here's what people don't always understand about tsunami wave heights. A 1 meter wave doesn't sound like much until you consider that it's a wall of water moving at potentially 50 to 60 kilometers per hour as it reaches shallow coastal waters. It doesn't crash like a surf wave. It surges like a tide that doesn't stop. 3 meter tsunami wave in a coastal town is catastrophic. It reaches second story windows. It sweeps cars and debris inland. It loads the water with everything in its path and turns it into a battering ram. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center operates a network of dart buoys, deep ocean assessment and reporting of tsunamis distributed across the Pacific. These buoys sit on the ocean floor and detect pressure changes caused by tsunami waves, even when the surface shows nothing unusual. In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami killed over 230,000 people, in large part because no such warning system existed in that region. The Pacific has been learning from that catastrophe ever since. The warning issued for the Mindanao event gave coastal communities critical minutes and in some areas hours to move to higher ground. Whether those warnings reached everyone in time is a question that disaster response teams in the region are still investigating. Numbers are how we measure disasters. But numbers don't tell stories, people do. As of the latest reports from the Philippine Civil Defense Office, more than 32 people have been confirmed dead, more than 100 injured. The toll is still being counted. Sox Sargan, a sprawling administrative region covering South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, Sarangani province, and General Santos city bore the heaviest burden, 12 confirmed deaths. Homes reduced to rubble, communities cut off by damaged roads. For Rodrigo Sosmenia, the Civil Defense Director coordinating the response on the ground, these weren't statistics, these were constituents. Neighbors, the early hours after a disaster of this scale involve an impossible calculus. Where do you send the limited resources you have? Which road do you prioritize? Which community is most cut off? In an island geography like the Philippines, that question is especially brutal. Unlike a continental landmass where you can route around damage, an island depends on coastal ports, mountain passes, and bridges, all of which are precisely the infrastructure most vulnerable to seismic activity. To understand this earthquake, you have to understand the ground it happened on and the history buried inside it. Mindanao and the southern Philippines have been shaken by major earthquakes repeatedly throughout history. In 1976, magnitude 7.9 struck the Moro Gulf, also off Mindanao, generating a tsunami that killed more than 5,000 people. In 2019, a series of earthquakes in the same general region, including a 6.6 and a 6.5, left dozens dead and thousands displaced. The geology here doesn't change. The Philippine Trench, one of the deepest ocean trenches on Earth, runs along the eastern coast of the Philippines, where the Pacific Plate dives beneath the Philippine Plate. The Cotabato Trench runs to the south. These are not features that will go dormant. They are permanent. They are active. And they will produce more earthquakes. The 32 lives lost in Mindanao matter. Each one is a story interrupted. But the 700 lives saved by a warning system, the families who evacuated coastal areas before the waves arrived, those are the stories that rarely make headlines, and those are the stories that should drive policy, funding, and scientific investment.